So I've been increasingly preoccupied with the idea that we've done too good a job. Let's put it this way. Humans can live in concentrated environments called cities or civilizations because we solved some problems. Mm-hmm. About 3,000 years ago, maybe longer, we solved the problem of sanitation. Mm-hmm. In the medieval time, we solved the problem of rodents and fleas. And
how did they solve that problem?
The rodents?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think they, more than anything, paid attention to it, like realized that they were spreading disease. Mm-hmm. And in the 20th century, viral epidemic illnesses, which were quite common and quite much destroyed lives, polio, measles, mumps, these sorts of things. Mm-hmm. And somewhere around 30 years ago, we decided none of those things apply anymore. They just don't apply. And everything that we need to do to make civilization function is just the man exerting his will and really not anything. Because there are, the humble, noble, homeless people. You need to leave them alone. And all the feces and food debris that's on every side of every tent, well, that's not your business. That's their stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the rodents that overpopulate each of these encampments at least a 10-to-1 margin, well, they're not hurting anything. Okay? So what's going to happen is we are in the middle in Southern California right now of a typhus epidemic, which started last summer, which you've heard me talk about it probably on this pod before. I knew it would happen. I will tell you this summer it's going to be voracious. It's going to be a bad epidemic. And there is a organism that also lives on these rats that comes in and gets onto the feral cats and has thus far made it to Wyoming. There have been 3 cases in Wyoming. And the way that the density of rodent and flea populations that we have now because of the homeless encampments providing all the resource for the rodents and the lack of – I mean, you've seen the cities – downtown Los Angeles is vibrating with rats. I mean, every bush, every encampment, they're just all over the place. Those rodents have another organism that inevitably rises amongst them. Mother Nature sees to it. This is Mother Nature. This is natural. This is Mother Nature at work. It's called Yersinia pestis. It has another name you may have heard of. It's called bubonic plague. Mm-hmm. That's the other name. Mm-hmm. And so this
powerful.
So this is all coming. Because it's inevitable. This is how nature works.
I agree.
And we've decided we're not biological. We don't need any of these things.
Look, we've done the same thing with vaccination.
Exactly.
We just we're done.
Yeah.
But we're not done because nature never takes a day off.
That's right. And so it's coming. These things are coming, and they're coming big. They're going to be serious.
We have simultaneously ratcheted up the scrutiny and the lack of tolerance as far as the city goes and the state goes and just the overall, say, government goes, but especially out here. Mm-hmm. Like, I was having dinner last night with my wife's friend and my wife. I'm like Mike Pence. And so I'm banging Jody, and I tell Lynette to hand me the lube. And she says, no. And
really, again?
So she's on the west side. She's kind of working for a family. And I remember they were doing like a house. They're building a house. They're trying to build. They have some land somewhere strangely in the middle of like West L.A. and Beverly Hills area. Like, good for them. But anyway. And there's like a creek that runs through it and stuff.
What?
And I said, but I said, how's the building stuff going? Because, that's what I'm interested in. And she said, well, we have to deal with the city on some of the stuff. And then we got to deal with it's a city we got to deal with West L.A. or West Hollywood or whatever it is. And then the city of Los Angeles. And then we also deal with the state of California because of the creek and because of the land or whatever. And I went, oh, good luck. Yeah. Oh, you'll never build a house. Yeah. These people who own this land, who would like to pay several $1 million to build a luxury home on it, you can I'll see you in about 6 years.
Yeah.
Tell me if you turned over one shovelful of soil yet.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And she said, like, oh, we're trying to get the permits. I said, good luck. And she went, oh, God, yeah, I know. And I thought, yeah. Why would we be so foolhardy as to let people who are in their tax bracket build something on their land?
By the way, same applies to housing for other people, too. If they would deregulate it, they could build the housing that people could afford.
I get it. So I think about that kind of stuff. And then I think about going out on a boat and hanging out with the guy who runs the Staples Center and has run the Staples Center for 20 years. And I say to the guy, hey, man, I went and saw a show at the Staples Center, and I walked out the door and I almost tripped over a guy selling hot dogs on a propane cart, a modified shopping cart. And he said, yeah. And I said, but not in the parking lot, on the grounds, man. I mean, like on the Staples Center, camped next to the exit door, up on the sidewalk, with all the lighting and everything. And he said, oh, yeah, there's 25 of them out there. He said, yeah, just a propane tank blew up the other day, like guy caught on fire.
Jesus.
Then he takes out his phone, and he shows me a picture on his phone of a giant cockroach on top of a hot dog on the cart, on the grill. And I said, where'd you get that? Where'd you get this picture? He said, oh, one of my guys took it. They're out patrolling. I said, what do you mean patrolling? Tell them to get off your property. Oh, yeah. Nick can't do that. Can't do that. I said, I don't get it. You have vendors. There are people in that area that are running restaurants, paying high-end retail, selling food and whatever. These guys are out in the street, not paying taxes, not dealing with the health department. The health department, for Christ's sake. Yeah. For Christ's sake, don't start giving me talk about earthquake country if you're not going to have a health department when people are selling ice cream to kids in Los Angeles. Rogue ice cream trucks, all of them. Just illegals driving converted camper vans and selling SARS-covered ice cream sandwiches. Who knows what their source is to your kids and not declaring any of it or dealing. Don't tell me. So I said, well, just tell the city council, get these guys out of here. You're the Staples Center. Who pays more in taxes than you? And he's like, I don't want to get into trouble with the city council. So I thought to myself, it is interesting as one side is being ratcheted up. It's basically, it's like this. I have twins. I
know that. Yes.
In my home.
Uh-huh.
What if I just said to Natalia constantly, where's your homework? Have you handed your assignments? I texted your teacher. It says you're late on some of your assignments. And then I looked at Sonny. I was like, hey, you want another doobie? Looks like you go for a cold one.
Bong.
You bong? Yeah. Sorry, man. Let me spark that up for you. And then Natalia went, wait a minute. He doesn't even go to school. Yeah. Don't worry about him.
He's a boy.
Rip another bong load there, boy. Have yourself a good time. You have to study your ass off all the time. You have another cold one. And let's, I think the Meekum auto auction is coming on. It's like 17 hours. Let's just watch that from Kissimmee, Florida. Let's just do that. Now you'd go, what the fuck kind of parenting is that? Like, wait a minute. Why nothing for this, but everything for that? So this guy who wants to build the house on the west side, that's 5 years of permit. Okay. So government's too big. It's too much. It's too big. Mm-hmm. It's too big. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, there's homeless walking like zombies, and they're infested with typhoid or typhus, and then it's going to be bubonic plague, and there are guys selling food unregulated on the land of the guys who sell hot dogs, but their hot dogs are more because they need insurance and health inspectors and have to pay codes, employees and codes and everything, taxes, everything like that. So their hot dogs are way more than those. There's nothing we can do about that. There's everything we can do about this. It feels like they've been growing and shrinking at about the same speed.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like they're connected.
How would that work?
I just feel like there's an urgency. It's like me going, I'm a dad. I got to be a dad. I got to tell these kids what to do.
Yeah.
The boy, he don't listen. He's an outlaw. He's going to do what he wants. I'm going to double down all my efforts on the girl. Regulate her ass.
What if it's I need this voting base to work for me?
Well, yeah. Yeah, there's that. I don't know, though. The homeless voting now?
Yeah,
They are?
of course.
I can't believe the guy pulled out his phone, showed me a picture of a giant cockroach on top of one of those grills. And he said, there's nothing we can do about it.